English podcast Easy Practice. Improve your English.
I studied English for years, but still couldn't speak. I knew words, I understood some things, but when I tried to talk, I stopped. My mind went blank, and I didn't know what to say next. One day, a teacher told me something simple, but it changed everything. You don't need more words, you need better phrases. And today, that's exactly what we are going to talk about. Teacher, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thank you. This is a very common problem. Students learn grammar, they memorize vocabulary, but when they speak, they hesitate. Not because they don't know English, but because they don't have ready phrases to use in real conversations. Let me explain something very important, and I want you to really understand this. Native speakers do not think word by word. They don't say, okay, subject, verb, object. No, they use chunks or phrases. These are groups of words that come together naturally. For example, a native speaker doesn't think I plus think plus this plus is plus good. They already know the phrase. I think this is good. It comes automatically. So, why is this important? When you learn phrases, you speak faster because you don't build sentences from zero. You sound natural because phrases are real English. You reduce mistakes because phrases are already correct. You feel confident because you know what to say. So, today we will learn 30 powerful phrases, but not only memorize them, we will understand them deeply, use them in different situations, and learn how to combine them. All right, how to use these phrases. Here's a deep method, and here's the biggest mistake the students make. They memorize phrases, but they don't use them. So today I want you to follow this method. Number one, understand the phrase. Number two, repeat the phrase. Number three, create your own examples. And number four, use it in real life. If you don't use the phrase, you forget it. If you use it, it becomes part of you. So let's go with the phrases. Yes, and these are really important. It's important for basic communication. So if you use these 30 phrases, I am totally sure you will be able to speak English and have conversations in English with native speakers. Number one is I think. I think. And this is one of the most important phrases in English. You use it to give your opinion. And in real life, conversations are full of opinions. People talk about what they think all the time. For example, I think this is a good idea. You are giving your opinion about something. Or, I think English is important. You are expressing your belief. So, why it's important? If you don't know how to give your opinion, conversations stop. This phrase helps you participate. It helps you give your opinion, your real opinion about something. And one common mistake that many students make is they say, I am think. That is not correct. I am think is not correct. The correct form is I think. I think. No am. That's not needed. All right. Phrase number two. In my opinion. In my opinion. This is similar to I think, but it sounds more formal and more complete. It is very useful in discussions or when you want to sound more serious. In my opinion, and this is an example, in my opinion, this movie is very interesting. You are giving a structured opinion. So, what is the difference between I think and in my opinion? I think is casual, and in my opinion is more formal, more organized. So, that's basically the difference. Let's go with the phrase number three. I hope you're paying attention. I agree. I agree. This phrase is very important in conversations because you need to react to other people. When someone says something and you feel the same, you say, I agree. For example, I agree with you. You share the same idea. And one common mistake here, like I think it's very similar, is that people use I am agree. They usually say I am agree. And that is not correct. The correct form is I agree. I agree. This is one of the most common mistakes in the world. So remember, I am agree is not correct. I agree is the correct form. Now, number four, I don't agree. That is the negative of the last phrase. I don't agree. Conversations are not always agreement. Sometimes you have a different opinion. This phrase helps you express that in a clear way. For example, I don't agree. I think it's different. I don't agree. I think it's different. You disagree, but you also explain your idea. And one tip I will give you here is always try to add a reason after this phrase. It makes your English stronger. Phrase number five, maybe. Maybe. This world is very powerful. It shows uncertainty. It is perfect when you are not 100% sure. For example, maybe we can go later. Maybe we can go later. You are not sure, but possible. Or maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. You are not completely sure. So, why this is important? Well, real life is not always clear and maybe helps you sound more natural. So, it's key. It's a key phrase. Phrase number six, I am not sure or I'm not sure in contraction. I'm not sure. Another way to express uncertainty, but more direct. For example, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. You don't know the answer. That's what it means. A tip I can give you here with this phrase is that this phrase is very useful when you feel nervous. It gives you time to think. So I think it's good that you say sometimes, I'm not sure, when someone asks you something and you are not sure. Phrase number seven, it depends. It depends. This phrase is very intelligent. It shows that the answer is not simple. For example, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. Different situations, different answers. The real use of this phrase, the native speakers use this all the time. That's the real use. It depends. It depends on me, it depends on you, it depends on the situation. So use this phrase. It's going to help you a lot with your vocabulary. Phrase number 8. Of course. Of course. This is a strong and positive answer. It shows confidence and willingness. For example, of course I can help you. Of course I can help you. Strong yes. Friendly tone. So, of course, I think it's one of the phrases we most students and people know. So, I don't think you're going to have problems using it. Another phrase is phrase number 9. It's no problem. No problem. This is a very friendly phrase. It makes your English sound natural and relaxed. For example, no problem, I understand. No problem, I understand. You show understanding and calm. And let's go with number 10, because I'm sure you want to know all the phrases. Phrase number 10, that's true. That's true. This phrase is used to confirm something. It shows that you agree with a fact or idea. For example, that's true, English is difficult. And one tip I can give you here is use this to react in conversations. It helps you stay engaged. When someone tells you something, and it's true, of course, you can say that phrase. Oh, that's true. And it helps a lot. Now, before going to the other phrases, I want to have a real mini conversation. I think it's going to help a lot to understand. All right? So, you start. Okay, I will start with the phrases, right? It will be I think English is difficult. That's true. But it's possible. So here the teacher agrees, but also adds motivation. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's continue. Maybe I'm not sure. Or maybe I'm not sure. I am showing here that I have doubt and emotion, right? Yes, very good. And I answer, no problem. We will practice. No problem. We will practice. I am showing you support and encourage. So basically, we can have a conversation with those phrases. And we're doing it in real life. So this is how real conversations work: opinion, reaction, emotion, support. These phrases help you build that flow. Now let's continue with the other phrases. Phrase number 11 is what do you mean? What do you mean? This phrase is extremely important when you don't understand something clearly. For example, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You are asking for clarification. And one tip I can give you here is always ask when you don't understand. That is how you learn. So when you don't understand something, you can say, what do you mean? Right? And the other person is going to explain what he or she means. Phrase number 12. Can you repeat? Can you repeat? This is essential for learners. You will use this many times. For example, can you repeat, please? Can you repeat, please? Don't feel embarrassed to ask. This is normal. So many people, native speakers, always ask to repeat the sentence because they didn't understand the first time or they didn't hear well. Phrase number 13 is I don't understand. I don't understand. Simple, direct, and very useful. For example, I don't understand this part. I don't understand this part. And what is the mistake here? That students usually say, I am not understand, when the correct form is, I don't understand. So let's go with the phrase number 14. You're doing well. How do you say? How do you say? This phrase helps you learn vocabulary in real time. For example, how do you say, I don't know, chair in English? Of course, you're asking in your own language, right? How do you say this word in English? How do you say that word in English? A tip I can give you here is use this every day. It builds a vocabulary naturally. Phrase number 15. What does it mean? This is another essential phrase for learning. What does it mean? And for example, you can say, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? Just like that. Number 16. Can you explain? Can you explain? Use this when you need more detail. For example, can you explain that again? Can you explain that again? I've heard this many times. Native speakers use it a lot. I mean, this phrase. Number 17. Let me think. Let me think. This phrase gives you time. Very important when speaking. For example, let me think. Maybe we can go later. Let me think. Maybe we can go later. I totally recommend the students to use this phrase. Let me think. It gives you some time to think about your answer. And then you can think about the answer and answer correctly or answer better. So use it. Number 18. Give me a second. Give me a second. Very natural phrase. Native speakers use it a lot. For example, give me a second. I'm thinking. Give me a second. I'm thinking. Number 19. You're doing well. That makes sense. That makes sense. This phrase shows understanding, that you understand something. For example, oh, that makes sense now. Oh, that makes sense now. Very good. Now, number 20. I get it. I get it. Many people don't use this phrase, but you can hear it a lot in movies, real conversations. So I totally recommend you to use it. And it's informal, okay? But it's very common, very, very common. For example, you just can say, "Oh, I get it." That's all. It means that you understand something, right? So I get it. I get that. You can also say that. So now this is the most important part. If you don't practice, you forget. Simple as that. But there is a system to master phrases that I want you to use because you are listening to the phrases, and I know you say, oh, but there are many phrases, and maybe I won't memorize them. I don't want you to memorize it. I don't want you to memorize the phrases. I want you to use it. So, this system will help you, right? This system will help you master these phrases. Number one, repeat 5 phrases every day. Repeat 5 phrases every day. Number two, create 3 sentences for each phrase. Create 3 sentences for each phrase. Number three, speak them out loud. Speak them out loud. And finally, number four, use them in real conversations. Use them in real conversations. If you use this system with four steps, I'm totally sure you will master these phrases. And one extra tip I can give you here, if you want to boost your English, is to record yourself. You can record yourself, then listen, and then you will improve. Try it. It's very, very helpful. So let's continue. And remember, in real conversations, you don't only speak, you react. And reactions make your English feel alive. That's why these phrases are really important. Phrase number 21. Pay attention. It's really, really. This is one of the most common reactions in English. For example, if someone says, I got a new job, you say, really? Really? You show interest and surprise. And one tip I can give you here is that your tone is important. You can sound surprised, interested, or even doubtful. Number 22. Wow. Wow. I know what you're thinking. That's not a phrase, teacher. It is. It is a vocabulary that people don't use. And it's very simple, but it adds expression, emotion to your reaction. For example, if someone says, I traveled to 5 countries, you just say, wow, really? Or wow, good for you. Or wow, you travel a lot. You show admiration or surprise. It's very, very helpful. Number 23. That's interesting. That's interesting. Very useful when you want to continue a conversation. For example, I study psychology. Oh, that's interesting. Why did you choose that? You react and continue the conversation. 24. No way. No way. This is used for surprise and sometimes for disbelief when you can't believe something. For example, I met a famous actor. No way, because you don't believe it. 25. That's crazy. That's crazy. Used for surprising or unexpected situations. For example, I worked 16 hours yesterday. That's crazy because you don't believe it. Number 26. We are approaching to the end. Good for you. Good for you. This is used when something positive happens to someone. For example, I started my own business. Oh, good for you. You show support and positivity. Number 27. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. This is used in sad situations. For example, when someone says, I lost my job, you can say, I'm sorry to hear that. That's very important for emotional communication. Number 28. That's great. That's great. Simple and powerful positive reaction. For example, your friend says, I passed my exam. And you say, That's great. That's great. Number 29. That sounds good. That sounds good. It's used when someone suggests something. For example, let's go to the beach. And you say, Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Right? So that's really good. And finally, number 30. That is, I see. I see. Used when you understand something. For example, If someone says, "That's why I changed my job," and you say, "Oh, I see." Okay, so that's really, really important. All right, so how do you use this in a conversation? I'm going to give you a short example in a conversation. Person A and person B. Person A says, "I started learning English 3 months ago." Person B says, "Really? That's interesting. Why did you start?" Person A says, "Because I want a better job." Person B says, "That's great. Good for you." Person A says, "Sometimes it's difficult." And person B says, "I see, but don't worry, you're doing well." This conversation feels natural because of reaction. "Really? That's interesting. That's great. I see." These phrases make conversations smooth and human. Okay, now remember you can combine everything. Okay, you can say, "I think this is a good idea, but I'm not sure. Maybe we should wait." Or, "That's interesting. I agree with you." Or, "Really? That sounds good." You don't speak with one phrase, okay? You can use more. Try to use more phrases. You connect many phrases. And I want to talk about common mistakes students make when using these phrases. Now, mistake number one is that they use phrases without emotion. If you say "wow" with no emotion, it sounds fake. Use your voice, feel it. Mistake number two, translating, right? Translating from your language. This creates unnatural sentences. Think in phrases, not words. Mistake number three, not using the phrases in real life. If you only listen, you forget. You need action. You need to use these phrases, right? Okay, so don't remember the method I gave you, the system I gave you, right? Use it. Teacher, now I understand something. Before I was trying to be perfect. Now I just want to communicate. And that's the secret. Communication first. Perfection comes later. Alright, guys, if you stayed until the end, you are not just watching, you are learning, you are improving, and that is powerful. Now I want you to take action. Comment right now. Write 5 sentences using the phrases you learn. I will read your comments. 5 sentences using the phrases. And if this episode helped you, give it a like, leave a comment, share this with someone who wants to learn English, and subscribe for more real English content. Because here, we don't just learn English, we learn how to use English in real life.
Congratulations! To continue improving your English skills, click on the next video or watch our full list of videos.